Well, hello everyone, it's Paul, and I'm in Japan. Just landed over here, coming over on a study mission to learn Lean and trying to keep up with my emails as always. And I got a great email from Brian Shelton. Here you go. And Brian had some questions for me. So Brian's a really thoughtful guy. He has a lot of good ideas. He's just learning Lean and how to implement it in his company. And the first question he had was, is the customer always right? And how does that policy play out? Because, what about the customer that's going to take advantage of you? So here's my philosophy. It's very simple. The whole concept of treating the customer with this enormous respect comes from the fact that's the way I want to be treated. When I go into a company and I trust them and I spend my money with them, and then the product doesn't live up to my expectations, right? Not necessarily the expectation of the product, but just my expectation. It would be really cool if the company would say, hey, Paul, no problem. We'll just take it back. This concept was reinforced with Costco. When you go to Costco, you buy something, basically return it. They don't even ask any questions. They just do it because they respect their customer. They understand the value of their customer. So I've always believed that. It was reinforced with Costco. I saw the way Costco deployed it, and I said, this makes perfect sense. Now, with FastCap, we're a pretty big company with lots and lots of products all over the world. You could imagine the level of the sheer volume of customers that we're dealing with. There's got to be some bad apples, right? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. In the 15 years that I've been doing business, I maybe could count 10 people on my hand that I felt really deliberately want to take advantage of me. I believe that most people are actually good people. I believe that most people do want to do the right thing. I believe there's a handful of people out there that are going to be nefarious and try to undermine the system and work the system. But in my experience, that is not what I've encountered. I'm very straightforward with people, and I always give them more than they expect, which is another thing that really is helpful. So if somebody comes to me and my product breaks, I don't just say to them, hey, you know what, we're going to replace your product. No. You don't have to prove you have a receipt, number one. We're going to replace your product, number two. You don't have to ship it back to us. We're not going to burden you with any more. You've already lost the time that our product was supposed to provide you, plus now you're having to deal with the problem of it not working. So I'm actually impugning them at a higher level. So number one, I'm going to ship you the new product at no charge. Number two, I'm going to ship you the new product at any cost. In other words, you want it next day or second day, or how do you want it? And then what else can I give you of FastCap's products that you would like to try out in compensation for the fact that I wasted your time? That's really the way we deal with customers. And most people are like, wow, that's just way over the top. I wouldn't expect that. I didn't want that. Most people are really great people, and they don't take advantage of the system. And we still send them something extra, and we still send them next day, or we do whatever it takes, because we want our customers, frankly, to not like FastCap, but to rave about it. So the answer to Brian's question is, the customer's always right. There is a rare case where I've got in a customer's face. I've done it probably 10 times in the last 15 years where I said, you know what, you're an idiot, and I'm not going to do it. Because they were an idiot, or they were attacking my people, or doing something like that, and then I would get in the middle of it. But for the most part, the customer's always right. We believe in killing them with kindness. We do that. All of our people are empowered to do that. They don't have to come to me and get permission. Can I spend this much money? Can I do this? Anything they need to do, they get to do. And it really makes life a lot easier for FastCap. So hopefully that'll answer the first question, Brian. The customer's already right. They're paying the bills. The only reason you're in business, Brian, the only reason I'm in business is because our customers trust us and believe in our products. And we have to treat them with a high level of respect if we want to maintain that relationship. So question number 2 from Brian is, what is the single greatest lean improvement you or your employees at your business has made? Something material, not philosophical, but a physical improvement, processes, upgrades, machine modifications, etc. Well, if I was going to say, the number one thing was me having my office on the shop floor and not being isolated from my people. The number 2 thing is tearing down the walls. The new FastCap has no walls. The old FastCap had walls everywhere. I think walls are the biggest disaster ever. So in terms of a lean improvement for flow of communication, everybody working together as a team, that has been fantastic. I could name 3 or 4 other ones, specifically 3Sing was the greatest improvement to the overall condition of our building and our work areas. When we do 3S every day, we sweep, sort, and standardize everything before we work. That was the most powerful improvement. The next one for communication was the morning meeting that we've been doing now for 12, 13 years. I don't even know how many years. I've lost track. But that for communication has been the most powerful tool that we've done. Tearing down the walls added and enhanced that. Me being on the shop floor added and enhanced that. These are the kinds of improvements that have really completely transformed FastCap and who they are. Number 3, what is the toughest situation as a business owner that you have to deal with regarding FastCap's present business? Without a doubt, no question about it, employee issues and team members. Whenever there's conflict between people, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Of course, I don't run from it. I deal with everything head on. I have a good friend of mine, Greg Glebe. He calls it, you're always this particular person is always in the middle of a storm, and there might be some commonality that storm is always right in the middle of this person. And I tell you, when I get people that create storms, I really come unglued, because there are a lot of people that just don't want to get along in life, that don't really think of the people they're working with as their partners and team members, but they think of them as an irritant. And that's just not acceptable. So the thing I hate more than anything else in running a company is having to deal with the people that just don't know how to get along. But of course, I don't shy away from that. Ashley Bailey asked me to do a video on how do you deal with conflict, and how I deal with conflict is straight on. I don't ever wait a single second. The minute I see anything festering, I am immediately on it. Bring the two people together. What's the issue? Can you guys work together as a team? We got to hash this out. If we can't hash it out, frankly, one of you is going to go or both of you is going to go. I'm just not going to deal with it. We don't allow for drama in our company, because drama is total waste. We need clear communication, respect for one another, realizing we're all working for one purpose, and that is to serve the customer, and secondly, to serve one another internally. So hopefully that helps you on that question, Brian. So number 4, how do you balance your personal life away from FastCap? As a business owner, you inherently work a lot more than other employees. Well, my wife and I work like crazy, ridiculous hours. I'm always working. I'm always connected. I really don't separate my personal life from FastCap, because Lean is so much of who I am. So I'm always connected to my iPhone. I'm always answering real time people's questions. Brian, I just got this email from you this morning. I'm in Japan. I just flew, 12 hours, got here, then drove a couple more hours to Tokyo, went to bed in the middle of the night, woke up, saw your email, and I'm doing everything. So I'm always connected, because I believe that's respect for people. If somebody asks me a question, I believe it's my obligation, no matter where I am in stature, up the food chain or anything like that, to answer back to people in a timely way. There's nothing I hate more than sending an email off to someone and there's no answer. They just ignore you. I mean, that is the most disrespectful thing in the world. So I go out of my way to answer people all the time. So how do I balance that? Well, frankly, at this point in my life, I'm 54 years old, reasonably successful. I schedule a lot of time away from FastCap because I want to develop myself as a human being. I want to travel all over the world. I've been in 54 countries. I'm going to Kazakhstan in a couple weeks to speak there, and then on to China. And I've just got trip after trip after trip planned where I'm developing myself as a human being. Today I'm in Japan. I'm on a lean study mission. So I feel that the travel is very important for the enhancement of my own personal well-being, so I can become a more effective leader. But at the same time, whenever I'm traveling, I'm always connected. So I don't separate it. They're always together. They're one and the same for me. And I just enjoy people, learning from them and being around them. So that's how I deal with my personal life and business life. They're one and the same, to be honest with you. Okay. That doesn't say I can't ever unplug, but for the most part, I'm pretty connected. I love what I do, so I don't need to unplug. I love what I do, so it's really easy. The question 5, the question is related to question 4. You're a well-traveled businessman. Do you participate in morning meetings when you travel? No and yes. No, I'm not on a video Skype cam or anything like that with my people as they're meeting. They always meet because we've been training them for years and years to be leaders, and the meetings go great without me there. It doesn't matter. But I'm always contributing, like sending videos. I sent videos already this morning of things that I saw in Japan that were really cool lean things, and they have those and they're watching them. I send them videos so they can see what I'm doing. And, we're very connected. They know exactly what I'm doing. I'm completely connected with Voxer to all of them. So if anytime they have a question, it doesn't matter what time zone, boom, they Voxer me. I answer. If it's the middle of the night, doesn't matter. So that's how I stay very well connected. But I'm not actually involved in the morning meeting, i.e. watching it or anything like that. I don't need to. And then number 6, How has being a world traveler better shaped you, not only as a person, but on the personal level, but as a business leader? Well, that's really easy. I believe that, first of all, I like to think of myself as a well-read person, and the way that came about is when I graduated from college, my father read a book every day of his life, read a new book. I mean, it's unbelievable he could read so fast. I'm a terrible reader, so I do everything with Audible. So I made it a discipline of mine to read one book a week for my entire life. I read 3 books this last week: Scaling Up, The Story of Steve Martin, Born Standing Up, and The Law of Attraction. Those are the 3 books that I went through just this last week. And the reason why I tell that story is because if you want to be effective in life, period, as a leader, in anything you do, you have to have a lot to draw on. You have to be able to reach up there. When someone asks you a question, you have to reach up there and grab experientially different things to be able to add to the way you solve problems and think about things. So my travel allows me to do that, being in so many countries, but seeing so many things. I mean, I think of myself standing in front of the Israeli Defense Forces speaking to them. I'm a carpenter. What is a carpenter standing in front of generals speaking about lean to? Me flying to Kazakhstan to speak to one of the largest construction companies in the world, 7,000 employees. That's crazy. What is a carpenter doing that? Well, a carpenter's doing that because everything I do in life is about enriching my life and developing me as a human being so I can contribute more. So I treat it that way. I'm always thinking about how can I improve intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and get better. And the travel has certainly added that level of dynamics to who I am as a person. And I love people. I always go into a country. I don't try to find their faults. I always look at it and go, look how cool this is. And people say, you always find the positive in everything. Well, there is so much positive. If I focus on the negative, my life would be a wreck. And there's plenty of negative out there, and there's plenty of things that need to be improved, but there's also a ton more positive. You just look at the city behind you. It was completely leveled back in 1945, and look, they built up this fantastic city with infrastructure that is unrivaled anywhere in the world, supporting a population of 25 million. That is unbelievable, and you have to realize what it takes to make something like that happen. And I kind of marvel at those things. That's what I do. I marvel at all the cool things that human beings could do. That's why the name of my show is called The American Innovator. It isn't that I'm the American innovator. I'm celebrating American innovation, that Americans are so good at innovating. That's what our culture is about. And really it extends to many cultures because all human beings are the same. We've just seen it really at a profound level in America, and I like to celebrate that. There you go, Brian. Hopefully that answers your questions. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.